Hi everyone, Scott with Dearly Departed Tours. Several years ago, I was invited to an event that was held in the former home of Marvin Gaye's parents in Kinney Heights, a neighborhood near the West Adams district of Los Angeles. I had a camera. It was before we documented every single thing 1,000 times over with as many pictures as they could. I took about 30 pictures and a few videos. It's poor quality, but what you're going to see is a rare look inside the home where Marvin Gaye was killed. Marvin Gaye was born in Washington, D.C. on April 2nd, 1939, to his mother Alberta and his father Marvin Gaye Sr., who was a church minister. The family name was spelled G-A-Y, and for show business purposes, Marvin added an E to his last name. His family remained Gay. His childhood was tumultuous, suffering physical abuse from his father, once stating that living with his father in his father's home was similar to living with a king, a very peculiar, changeable, cruel, and all-powerful king. After a brief stint in the U.S. Air Force, Marvin relocated to Detroit. He was always interested in music and singing. Marvin was a part of several groups while growing up. While he was performing in Detroit, Motown Records founder Berry Gordy saw Marvin and heard Marvin and signed him to Motown. With Motown, Marvin co-wrote the Marvelettes' Beachwood 45789 and had success with duets featuring Kim Weston and Tammy Terrell. Ain't That Peculiar? How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You? I Heard It Through the Grapevine. All Marvin Gaye classics. He scored big in 1970 with his anti-war song, What's Going On, which was on the same album as Mercy, Mercy Me. His 1973 album, Let's Get It On, stayed on the charts for 3 years. By 1984, things were not going great for Marvin. He owed a lot of money for back taxes to the IRS, and he was in the midst of a downward spiral of drug addiction and abuse. He wasn't able to hold on to a relationship. He was becoming increasingly more paranoid. He told his musicians that he was being stalked by murderers and began wearing a bulletproof vest. On April 1st, 1984, Marvin was staying at his parents' house on Grammercy Place. He was strung out doing a lot of cocaine and spending a lot of time watching pornography. He was wearing a maroon bathrobe that he'd been wearing for days. He carried a pistol in the pocket of his robe and had a small arsenal under his bed. He was convinced someone was going to kill him. Keep in mind, these photographs and video were taken 26 years after Marvin's murder. So none of the original furniture is in the house. None of the things on the walls or any of the decor or bedding, none of that stuff is authentic. But this is the real place. Now, a party was going on, and I was trying to be discreet with my camera. So during the video, I was trying to sort of block my camera, and I ended up sticking my finger in it, as it were. And so this is what you're going to see. Again, this is the real deal. This is inside the house. What follows now is the story of Marvin's death by Marvin's mother, Alberta. She uses the term husband for Marvin Sr. and Marvin for Marvin Jr., the victim. That morning, my husband came walking through the bathroom door and asked me where I could find this insurance letter. I couldn't hear him very well, so Marvin asked him to come up into the room where we were. My husband said no, he wouldn't come in the room. Marvin told him, if you don't come in now, don't you ever come into my room again. Then my husband came into the room. Marvin told him to get out and got up from the bed, walked over to my husband, and pushed him back. Marvin pushed him a couple of times. My husband turned and walked back into his bedroom. Marvin followed him, yelling little cuss words at him. Marvin told his father, "I'll beat you up." Both of them went into the father's room. "I didn't see what happened in the bedroom," related Alberta. "I heard my husband say, 'He's kicking me. I don't have to take that.' When I entered the room, my husband was on the floor and Marvin was standing a short distance away. I took Marvin by the arm and led him back into his room. I sat him at the foot of the bed. Marvin told me, 'Mother, I'm going to get my things and get out of here. Father hates me and I'm never coming back.' I was standing about 8 feet away from Marvin when my husband came to the door of the bedroom with his pistol. My husband didn't say anything. He just pointed the gun at Marvin. I screamed, but it was very quick. He, my husband, shot, and Marvin screamed. I tried to run. Marvin slid down to the floor at the first shot. The first .38 caliber slug had entered his right chest at a 30-degree downward angle, perforating the right lung, heart, diaphragm, liver, stomach, and left kidney before coming to rest against his left flank. It was immediately fatal. Marvin's father stepped forward and fired one more time at point-blank range. Then he went downstairs to the front porch, threw the pistol onto the front lawn, and waited for the police. There were two different paths that Marvin's father, with a literal smoking gun in his hand, could have taken to get downstairs to the front porch. The first and most obvious is a quick turn from the bedroom to the main staircase, down through the living room onto the porch. The second choice would be passing by the main staircase to the rear set of stairs, heading down the back way through the living room and onto the porch. Now remember, this video was taken 12 years ago. The house was packed and a party was going on. I did my best to get video while still attempting to be discreet and avoid getting people's faces in the shot.
Likes to take walks.
Either way, this is the exact location where Marvin Gaye Sr. sat, threw his gun on the front lawn of the house, and waited for the police to arrive after murdering his own son. Marvin Gaye was pronounced dead at 1:01 p.m. on April 1st, 1984, just a few hours before his 45th birthday. His cause of death, gunshot wound to the chest perforating his heart, lung, and liver. Marvin Gaye Sr. was arrested, and soon crowds of eager spectators gathered in front of the house. After he was arrested, Marvin Gaye Sr. was asked if he loved his son. His reply was, "Let's say I didn't dislike him." Upon examination, doctors found bruises consistent with the physical fight he had with his son, as well as a walnut-sized tumor in his pituitary gland at the base of his brain. There was no way of knowing how long it was there or if it affected his behavior. He pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to a 6-year suspended sentence and 5 years probation. During the sentencing, Marvin's father told the court, "If I could bring him back, I would. I was afraid of him. I thought I was going to get hurt. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm really sorry for everything that happened. I loved him. I wish he could step through the door right now. I'm paying the price now." Marvin Gaye Sr. died of pneumonia on October 10, 1998, 9 days after his 84th birthday. Thank you for watching this video. I want to especially thank the people who are supporting this page by the Patreon link that's just below. If you subscribe to the Patreon page, you'll get exclusive Q&A videos with me, and we can communicate a lot easier that way. But I want to especially thank Laura Whitford, Janice Craig, Angela Temke, Melissa Pirioff, Paula Cummings, and Alan Ellenberger. Hey, Alan. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your time. And until next time.
You heard me.